Hi, hello, you beautiful souls. Carmen Delport here, multidimensional healer and spiritual therapist. And today I'm doing an impromptu video on the sadness, the grief that we feel that we don't know where it's coming from. And also what quite often comes with it that I see in my clients is this feeling of heaviness, this feeling of you carrying a heaviness, a load with you. Now, there is different ways of working with this, but today I want to talk about something specifically. I'm not going to talk about the inner child healing. I'm an inner child healing therapist, but that's not what I want to talk about today. I had a client over the weekend that really, I really felt deeply the pain, the suffering, the grief, the heaviness, the load that isn't hers. It isn't hers. And she specifically came to me for that. She's been doing a lot of work on herself, specifically focusing on ancestral healing, and that's why she came to me. And with the healing, the specific healing we did over the weekend, my team, as you know, I work with my team in spirit of 96 beautiful beings that guide me and support me in my work with my clients. And what I've been asked to do is to become the shaman and become one with her ancestors that we invited in. When I connected with her soul to show me what we need to heal, you know, where are we going with this? It very quickly became clear that it is ancestral healing mainly. We did do some past life healing, but the ancestral healing was the majority of the healing session. And as you know, a healing session with me is 2 hours. And we opened up, we invited the ancestors in, and they came through, quite a few of them. And as a shaman, I become one to experience what they experience, to release that suffering out of the energy field of my client and out of the lineage, both lineages we were working on. Now, why this has, I mean, I do this all the time, but why this specific client really awakened, and I found is so important to share, is it's very difficult to heal what we individually do not feel ourselves, or what we do not understand ourselves, which is my work as a healer and a therapist, is to help you understand yourself and your ancestors, if that's where we're going. And with the past life healing we do, that is different depending on what we're working on. And as the ancestors came through, the theme generation after generation after, I mean, I was literally going back minimum 12 generations. And it was enslavement. It was being enslaved, the women and the men. And what I saw, what they shared with me, was so horrible and so painful and so disturbing, that this is what human beings do to each other. This is what we have been doing to each other for a very, very long time. And especially women, how women has been suppressed and not allowed to speak their truth. And the sexual violence towards the female slaves, and the physical violence towards men, And then the way the women were just had no voice, had no say. And it is just for me to see it, to feel it, to observe it, and sharing it with her then afterwards. She was experiencing some of it with me, and she could feel it releasing in her system. Her body was unwinding. And when I shared with her afterwards exactly what I saw, as much as I can share with her, she knew all of that through all the different forms of ancestral healing she's been doing the last 6 years. She's done the research, she's gone through the family line, all that. And she's only one person. And so many of us have that in our family lines. And what is in the collective, it's in all of us. Whatever she's experienced is in all of us. And I think that why this so shook me is because exactly that. She's one person out of many I've worked with over the years. That came through so strongly, which means to me that we are really ready to heal this now. And so if you are experiencing sadness, grief, this feeling of suffering, carrying this load, and you don't know where it is coming from, do look into your ancestors, do the ancestral healing, so you can move on with your life, because this is holding her back in her own life. Okay, if you've made those agreements, if you've been sold, if you've been traded off, if you've made those agreements to be enslaved, to be controlled, that is in you. That those agreements, contracts, oaths, all of that is still running and is holding you back in life. So we did the clearing on all of that. Well, my guides did all of that. It was beautiful. The healing itself was absolutely beautiful, the way my guides did it. And I just feel I really need to share this, because it's so easy for us to, because it didn't happen to you as an individual, to forget, to not even know, to ignore what is in your past, in your ancestors. And it's in all of us. I keep saying that because we are all one. We've all agreed to that. Even if it maybe didn't happen to our ancestors, we've all agreed to that. All right? We all played a role in it, our ancestors, to ignore it, to turn a blind eye. Maybe our ancestors were the observers of this, but also couldn't do anything about it. So I highly urge you to do the ancestral healing if you are feeling this unexplainable sadness, heaviness that you don't know where it's coming from. Now, there can be other reasons for that as well, okay? But I specifically am talking about this today, about the slave trade that's been happening for hundreds of years. And it is a huge part of the history, the recent history that we know is true, not made up. It's true, history that's true. And it's still playing out. It's playing out in every moment of people's lives still today. And I'm getting very emotional because what I saw is so disturbing. And not what I also saw in hindsight after I finished the healing I did over the weekend connect with my guides to show me more of the impact of this slave trade with the people that was maybe not the slaves, but those that were around them, and how it impacted them, especially the women that was not allowed to, that just had to accept that they cannot say anything, to just accept that other women are being treated like this, violated, and how big, strong men was treated like they were, it's just, they had no right, no voice. And that is why we are now in a period of the truth coming out. And that is specifically now November and December 2025. This is it. The truth is coming out. The truth is coming out in the world, whatever needs to come out. But also these voices that's never been heard of our ancestors wants to be heard. And that is how I do my ancestral healing with my clients. We connect with those ancestors, whether it's 3 generations ago, 15, 20, 30 generations ago, that wants to come through to share their story, to release their voice so the healing can happen. That is one part of it. And the other part of it is me and my team doing the multidimensional work, the shamanic work, the multidimensional work. So I ask you to connect with your ancestors, to feel into what do they want you to listen to. What are they ready to release from your lineage, your mother line, your father line? What is there that's ready to be released? What is there that's ready to be seen? Because with our ancestors, they've all lived in a time where we were not allowed to share our stories, not even in the family unit. We need to keep quiet, don't speak about it. And I mean, that's still life today. Today, even in families, there's things you just don't speak about. And when that happens, we shut down the voice chakra. And the throat chakra, is literally our expression in this world. And in order for us to live our purpose, we need to heal the throat chakra from this life, our inner child healing, which in my work connects with the past lives, and with the ancestral healing. There's many different ways you can connect with your ancestors. You can do it through doing a little ritual, maybe some drumming, journaling. Definitely do a beautiful ritual, play some music, connect with them in a space, calling them in safely. And when you do that, it's very important when you call in ancestors, that you only call in the ancestors that is coming in love. Because we all have ancestors that are cruel, that are full of hate, that's full of spite, that wants revenge. Those are not the ancestors we want to connect with, okay? Because you do not know what they are going to stir up in your life, okay? They things can happen in your life. If you invoke a spirit and that spirit is not sane and not well, not coming from a good place, that spirit will bring in unwanted scenarios, thoughts into your life. So there we go. I really wanted to share that. Yeah. So please do share if you've done any ancestral healing and what you released, what you healed, and what you've learned. Because there's so much we can learn from our ancestors. On my team in spirit, I do have some of my ancestors from a very, very long time ago as part of my team that I communicate with every single day. And I've done quite a bit of ancestral healing. Of course, in my training as ancestral healing therapist, I go through a lot of training, and when you do that, we heal a lot. And then with my team, I've also done ancestral healing, but after this experience this weekend, I know that there is more specific things that I need to focus on, that needs to be healed, especially, well, there's a lot there. So please do share your experiences, your thoughts, your questions, if you have any. And our ancestors, they are alive in us. Just remember that. And the study of epigenetics has proven that. Oh, which reminds me, on my website, carmendelport.com, on the ancestral healing page, there is a link that you can sign up to, and you can do my ancestral healing workshop. That's been on there for quite some time. I recommend you do that as well. Okay, that'll be good for you. And I also want to mention my upcoming masterclass, Sacred Communion with Self, where we specifically will be, this is a small group healing program over, I think it's 10 weeks. I'm not sure, 10 or 11 weeks, where we'll be working closely together, specifically on healing how you feel safe and present in yourself, how you allow yourself to experience joy and pleasure. And this is based on inner child healing, and we will also be doing some mind reprogramming around whatever it is we need to shift in order for us to feel safe, to have balanced emotions, to understand our emotions and who we are. Okay, there's a lot of information there. I am running that masterclass. That masterclass it's definitely the first weekend in December, definitely, okay? It was going to be the last weekend in November, but because it's Thanksgiving, I've changed it to the first weekend in December. And that it will be a beautiful workshop where we will also work on some important themes, okay? So do sign up for that waiting list for that workshop that's coming up, Sacred Communion with Self. So I thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Maybe you know someone that needs this message about the ancestors, that maybe they're struggling with unexplained grief sadness, or this feeling of suffering that they don't know where it's coming from. Share this with them so that they can look into it. There's many different ways of ancestral healing, many, many, many different ways. And this is just me opening that door for you, to shine that light on you, that our ancestors, the message that I got clearly this weekend is, we are doing this work now. The ancestors are coming. They want us to do this work. So if this resonates with you, then this is for you. It's time for you to start looking into this and to feel where you need to start with your ancestral healing. Okay? Yeah, thank you so much for being here. I'm sending you so much love, and I appreciate you. Please do like, share this video. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And have a beautiful, blessed week. Bye.